Hello, welcome to another episode of The Curtain Call, and today I'll be sharing my thoughts on the movie Last and First Men. You know, the movie that all the kids on TikTok are talking about. I mean, it's not far from impossible. I mean, these films got TikTok famous. But no, I'm talking about the debut and sadly last film from Icelandic composer Jóhann Jóhannsson, who tragically passed away in 2018. A super talented musician who blended traditional orchestra with contemporary electronic music. Filmgoers will most notably know him from his work with Denis Villeneuve, doing the scores for his movies Prisoners, Arrival and Sicario. He was also Oscar nominated for his work on the Stephen Hawking biopic Theory of Everything. I first took notice of him when he did the score for Mandy. Damn, 2 videos on Mandy in a row? Coincidence? Yeah, no, it totally is. If you do want me to do a review of that movie, because it has been a while since I've seen it, please leave a comment. And while you're there, leave a like and subscribe to the Curtain Call channel. But anyway, back to the review. But yeah, I became very curious about Jóhannsson, and I started listening to a lot of his solo projects, including his studio album Orphe back in 2016. Quickly became one of my favorite film composers and was really shaping up to be a really promising musician in the field of cinema. He was the original choice for the score for Blade Runner 2049. I would give anything to hear his rendition of that world. Great talent was lost unfortunately in 2018, and as a result we're starting to see the last of his works coming out. Based off the 1930 Olaf Stapleton science fiction classic of the same title, Last and First Man is essentially the recordings of the future revolution of humanity, 2 billion years in the making. Man has left Earth and set up a colony on Neptune and has come to the realization that our beautiful sun is coming to the end of its lifespan, and humanity has only months to live. As a means to prevent total annihilation, messages are sent into the vastness of space to give warning and possibly even communicate with our past. Sounds like an intriguing concept, right? Well, what if I told you it wasn't told through traditional cinematic means? It was effectively told as a montage of still photographs, accompanied by a surreal soundscape, and the only voice you hear on screen is the soothing voice of Tilda Swinton. It's kind of a hard sell, right? I mean, this film is definitely not going to be for everyone, and I know what you're thinking. It's going to attract a lot of talk of, oh, well, it's just artsy-fartsy nonsense. But I think there is actually something to appreciate here. I'm not going to say I was fully invested in the film, and I'm not going to say I didn't start falling asleep during the movie. This is certainly a test of patience, and there are certainly elements in the film that really drag on, especially when it comes to the image of clouds or the monoliths on screen for like 3 minutes plus. To me, this is a really good installation piece. Like, you would just appreciate it for what it is and kind of be absorbed into the world that it kind of drags you into. It's the type of film to really appreciate in a dark cinema with big speakers and nothing to distract you from the screen. I'll be honest, watching it myself, I did look at my mobile phone a few times. It's thankfully only an hour and 10 minutes of your time, so it's not going to be too long. And for what is quite a difficult film to really grasp, it did drag me in. I will have to say a lot of that rides on Tilda Swinton's performance as the narrator. Her voice is incredibly soothing to listen to and feels so ethereal. You could totally believe that a future human would actually speak like this, and the material she delivers is beautifully written. It really draws you in and captures the wonder of this final civilization of man and the concerns of their inevitable destruction. I love the details that they give about this future human society. You know, their bizarre physical appearance, telepathic abilities, their immortal state, the policy of bringing up children, the mental deterioration of their astronauts navigating the galaxy. It's all very fascinating and beautifully told. It's just a pity that the film does go without Swinton for periods that feel like an eternity, having to purely rely on the imagery and the eerie music to keep going. And I think that's where my problem with the film lies. The other material, while beautiful at times, pales in comparison. I was a little bit let down by the music, for example. The opening track is an incredible opener that gives the vibe of a godly power rising from the mountains. But yeah, for the most part, the music didn't really draw me in. And look, I'll be honest, I was not in a cinema, and so I didn't have the satisfaction of listening to it on massive speakers. I believe my television speakers were pretty loud to get me into the mood, but I still felt it was a bit jarring and a bit boring. Of interest, Jóhannsson actually did perform this in front of a live audience around the world with the BBC Philharmonic and was done posthumously around the world, including Sydney's Vivid Festival. So if you checked that out and liked it, then you probably think I'm full of crap. This is obviously a musical orchestration art piece brought to life in film form. But if that's the case, then yeah, I really wanted the music to be more impactful. This shouldn't tell you though from listening to Jóhannsson's other work though, or for watching the film for that matter. He was clearly very talented, and for a film debut, there is certainly something really interesting here. The photographs really are otherworldly, even if some of them do feel a bit overused in the montage. There are times when the same photo is used a lot, just with close-ups and cropping the same image again and again and again. These are nice photos, don't get me wrong, but staring at one for what feels like 5 minutes at times can be a bit frustrating. Interesting fact though, the monoliths that look like they came out of 2001: A Space Odyssey actually do exist. They're actually Yugoslavian memorials dedicated to World War II battles and Nazi concentration camps that was commissioned by none other than Yugoslavian President Josip Tito. Had to do something cool, I guess. But yeah, these pieces fit perfectly with the alien nature of humanity in this film. This monument especially is awesome to look at in the film. I almost envisioned it as some form of futuristic apartment complex. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Using monuments that represent tragedy and death on a mass scale to support your science fiction work is a little bit disrespectful, but I feel like they're perfect to fit with the talk of death in the film. That even generations from now, these monuments will stand the test of time as a symbol of great pain and loss for humanity. I really recommend checking out the real memorials. There's some awesome photos online over them, and just reading about the history of each one is quite interesting. And yeah, I can generally say check out the film if you're looking for something different within the genre of science fiction. It's not for everyone, but I'm pretty sure you made up your mind just hearing the synopsis. If you're still intrigued, you're most likely going to get something out of it. There's some generally awesome moments in it. Tilda Swinton is fantastic and the writing is really well done. I'm not actually sure if these are direct quotes from the original Olaf Stapledon novel, but even if it is, it's beautifully written and really works well. I generally think there's something interesting here, but I just can't say I love it. I will say I'm very glad it exists. I'm really happy to see that Jóhannsson's vision was finally brought to the screen. I'm hoping with this notice, more people will start looking into the composer because his work really does need to be appreciated. He was a generally fascinating musician with a lot of talent and he will be missed. I'm giving this film a 6 out of 10. Probably sounds a bit disrespectful considering this is a posthumous work. And of course I don't mean any disrespect to the family or to his legacy. As I said, I really enjoy this musician. I think he's fantastic. But I think this is a very fitting rating for this film. It's a film to really appreciate, but I can't say I love it. But yeah, if you saw it, let me know what you think, what your thoughts are, and what your thoughts are on generally Jóhann Jóhannsson. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you on the next one.